Um, Hello guys, welcome to the Onaboutnothing Podcast. We inconsistency has, I think the best way to describe it, that consistency has distracted us for a very long time. We're like the weather now, we're always off and on. 1 minute we're here, the next minute we're not. We're just glad to be here because trust me, there's only one place to start. Elemente. As of 2 weeks ago, after the Miami Grand Prix, true story, no lies, guys. True story. Sunday night, Miami Grand Prix happened on Sunday in the evening, towards in the night. I slept. The frustration that Miami Grand Prix gave me as a tifosi, a supporter of Ferrari, I slept and I dreamt Sunday/Monday that I was in a Ferrari support group and we were all ranting. You understand? We were just ranting that whatever Fred Vasseur and the legs are doing, it doesn't make any sense. As when I woke up, I was like, there's nothing I can do. I cannot help myself than support Ferrari. But I can't take this anymore. I said, okay, you know what? We move. Next week is coming. 2 weeks is coming. Fast forward to yesterday, I couldn't watch the qualifying live. I was like, I just saw notification. I said, Alonso P5. Let me go and watch the highlights. I got to the highlight. I was like, okay, Q2, what's happening? Hamilton 8, Leclerc 7. Okay, this guy is improving. Alonso is improving. This other guy is improving. Next thing you know, end of Q2, Ferrari 11 and 12. I said, okay, you know what? You pick your poison. I've chosen my own poison already. What? Before I even continue my rant about Ferrari, the crazy part, I know they did relatively okay today in the race itself, but the crazy part is, at the beginning of the season, when we had the Formula One preview, it was difficult to choose a winner for this season. We felt Verstappen could still be a winner. And if from what we saw today, from what we have seen, even as at 2 weeks ago in Miami, if there's anything, Verstappen is probably the favorite in my opinion, because one, both McLarens will end up splitting each other, and they do not have the mental fortitude to deal with. They don't have the racecraft. They don't have the mental fortitude to deal with Max. Because if you see, even George Russell, who was behind Piastri today, was screaming on the radio that, what is he doing? Like, you had that good start. Be aggressive, go into the corner. Russell was looking at it that I can beat Verstappen. Next thing you know, Piastri is like, Abego, my kete was not spoiled. Don't let him jam me. Don't let him jam me. Next thing you know, Verstappen has done his thing and it was seamless for him after that.
Yeah, I think we've seen over the course of 7 races, I think we've had 7 races now. The pure fact it is not enough to have only the fastest car. Like, it's not enough to just have the fastest car on the grid. It's also very important to have a driver, to have a captain that can steer the ship to the destination. And that's what has been so prevalent with McLaren of late, is the fact that a lot of their decisions, either from the paddock or those inside the machine themselves, because I don't know. One very prevalent thing I saw today was the fact that after the second safety car, Piastri's tire had gone like 19 laps, and Norris' tire had only gone like 4 or 5 laps. The very logical thing to do was for Piastri to just get out of the way and let Lando Norris chase, understanding the fact that it's better for Piastri if Verstappen finishes second than finishing first, because it actually cuts down the gap. So, but one way or the other, with 10 laps to go, Piastri was still a little bit hesitant with letting Lando Norris through, which is very integral when it comes to the championship. We can see that the gap between Piastri and Max is not that much of a gap. I can't remember vividly, but I think it's like 20 or thereabout. And when you also look at the decision in the paddock, it is very, very disastrous, making me think like, okay, are you guys not prepared for this season? This season is a season that you're supposed to max out, win both the constructor championship and driver championship, and also that 2026 can be anybody's game, rather than just throw it to the sky and be like I'm very, very disappointed in McLaren, especially today's race, because I felt like What happened in Tongon was normal. Like I expected Max to do that. I expected Max to do that. He is more experienced, he's more aggressive, he knows how to maneuver this particular circuit. So, but the way the team handled it, and don't even get me started about Ferrari. The fact that they were speaking on radio that we don't have enough tire, we've exhausted a lot of our tire. I'm like, didn't you guys like? It was so obvious. Look at the strategy, Max. Everybody was pitting Max, and if you look at the people that didn't pit in the grid, you will see that these are people that have been in this game for very long. They know things that can happen. You have you have six rookies on the grid. Somebody is going to speed up and virtual like. So that is the perfect time to pit. It is not about I am on hard, I'm on soft, I'm on medium. It's about the fact that everybody's supposed to start on hard tires, max out your hard tires, and when somebody is unfortunate enough to do what happened to Berman, I think Esteban Ocon at one point. So like it is about experience, it's about knowledge of the driver, and that's something that McLaren lacks on all fronts.
Somebody's I'm getting background noise from someone, and I don't know where it's coming from. Either way, let's just go on.
Wait, is it me?
Okay, I think it's from Maki.
I have to come back and yeah. Sorry, thought.
So because when you look at it, Kule, it's obvious that Verstappen would probably break anybody that stands in his way. His racecraft is stronger, it's faster, but the McLaren they have the faster car. And I know Elemeje said that Verstappen would do that to anybody, what he did in turn one. I'm not sure he would do that to Lewis Hamilton or even Leclerc, because those ones are they are also quite aggressive. Leclerc is fast and aggressive. Because what I saw from Piastri looked like, maybe I'll just let you pass. I don't want any trouble. And Red Bull still haven't gotten it right. The car is still neither here nor there. And I mentioned it a few weeks back that the entire car is designed for Max Verstappen. At this point, if you have Verstappen, are you looking at it that he continues to put pressure on McLaren by saying they have the fastest car on the grid, blah blah blah, and all those things? Is that the right strategy for him to ensure that all the pressure is on the McLaren boys while I focus on myself and continue to get things done?
I think on his part is kind of a good call. The move of putting pressure on McLaren in terms of them having the fastest car. I think one of the reasons why it works now is that in the past, I don't know, past 48 hours, 24 hours, basically the past few days and weeks, Piastri has come out and said like, oh, in his last few races, McLaren have acknowledged that they made some actual tactical, basic tactical and mechanical errors, like there were F-ups on their part. So if you are Verstappen and you're seeing basically your closest opposition challenge doing that, you are like, I mean, yeah, like the heat is on. That means they're acknowledging that there are shortcomings on their own end. B, that means the heat is on them, and obviously, what's the best way for me to take away, like not just even responsibility, but also spotlight? Because once the conversation becomes about, oh, does McLaren need to get their act together? Obviously, we know Verstappen and Red Bull are not going to be in the shadows because it's Verstappen, but they can try and go under the radar as much as they can. So it feels like to an extent on his part, he's doing that a lot, and I think maybe it kind of speaks to the development of him as a racer as well, because over the past few seasons, past few years, there's always been like the headline act of Verstappen. It's always been whenever whether it was a F1 regulation mess up, whether it was spotlight was Hamilton, whether it was on Red Bull itself, whether it was on Ferrari, there's always a significant level of spotlight on Verstappen. So I feel like now you realize that, okay, what if I move that attention somewhere else and I just try to race? And so far, it looks like it might work. So yeah, honestly, it's a good move on his part, and it could be successful. But again, we haven't really gotten anywhere so far in the race in the season yet, so we still have to wait and see. You're muted. You're muted.
In terms of waiting to see, the only thing I'm waiting to see at this point is LMJ. Another thing that I wanted to see how Franco Colapinto performs over the next 5 races. I know one of the things that we spoke about before the season started was Jack Doohan being under enormous and unnecessary pressure. Like, we've not even had testing when there was already talk of, oh, if he doesn't do well, if he passes the wrong gas, if he doesn't pass gas properly, we're going to chase him away. Colapinto is waiting on the wings. And lo and behold, it did actually happen, in the sense that what happened, they replaced him with Colapinto. To me, I think it's a bit unfair. I don't know how you see that.
I think it's rash. I think it's very rash, considering the fact that, in all sincerity, I don't really think Colapinto will do better than Jack Doohan, objectively, because they claim that Jack Doohan is still employed, is still on the sideline, yada yada yada, all of that. But the fact that we can almost say for certainty that Colapinto would almost not get any points throughout the whole season. Never say never anyway, but objectively, if we give Colapinto 7 races, would he do better than Jack Doohan has done? I don't think so. Qualifiers, he got a penalty. He got a place penalty. He qualified well, relatively. 15th, yeah, I think he finished 15th. 15th is not bad in the car that he is. But would he relatively do better than Jack Doohan? I don't think so. I don't think the pressure that has now been placed on the both of them, because directly or indirectly, Colapinto too is also under a lot of pressure. He has to outperform Jack Doohan to feel like he deserved that spot. Are they both good drivers? Yes. I just feel like they should have backed a driver and stick to him to the end of the season. If it didn't work at the end of the season, then you can now clamor for a change. Now, considering the fact that other constructors are coming in next season, not holding down 2 rookies might have been better for both of them. But now we are hearing that Cadillac might be talking to Bottas and Perez. Like, that is 2 seats gone already, if the rumors are true. So I feel like it's unnecessary pressure for both rookies, and it would have been better placed if they had selected one and backed one to the end of the season.
Speaking of Cadillac coming into next season, a new driver, if you are Sergio Perez, you can dust your CV. Like, you dust your CV. This is how you will walk to Cadillac's office. I heard people are looking for a driver. Have you seen that second Red Bull car is undrivable? Nobody can even drive it. Forget. Let's not deceive ourselves. They put Lialos in there. Sonoda is inside. Everything just points to the fact that Sergio Perez was right, because Perez kept complaining last year, like, oh, this car is not good enough. It's not drivable. And Cooling, for some reason, we're telling him that it's a lie. You can see Max Verstappen winning championships. Why are you always finishing 10th or getting eliminated in Q2? I know Albon said Red Bull adjust everything to suit Verstappen's style. From the outside, what you can see as a fan watching it is Red Bull, I know it's not even a case of adjusting. Red Bull exists to please Verstappen. And it seems a bit unfair to the second driver.
Not only does it seem a bit unfair to this second driver, I thought it feels very single as a sporting and business strategy. Honestly, because the moment you start attaching your entire identity to one race, you are banking on a lot of longevity, like proper, like it has to be throughout. And the moment there is not even on the tracks, the moment there is a discord off the track itself, maybe just normal board conversation, business conversation, the identity crashes down. Case in point, Mercedes, Hamilton. That's literally how it's going to look like. And it's also something, I think it's also something Ferrari kind of learned from, that they changed. Well enough, it's also something McLaren learned from with Jenson Button, whereby they continuously attached their identity to Jenson Button, and it got to a point whereby for successive seasons, Button was finishing seventh, was finishing sixth, was finishing seventh. Like what was the was so what was the point? What was the entire identity? For instance, now Perez left in 2024. What I've even forgotten the name of the replacement that came in for him a year later, and that's to an extent that kind of speaks to it, because you are getting to a point whereby you can't really not even divorce Red Bull from Max Verstappen. You are getting to a point whereby the moment you say Red Bull, it is Max Verstappen. So the question you have to ask yourself long term and even medium term is, what happens when Max Verstappen says, "I am no longer Red Bull"? Like it's as simple as that. Like what happens when Verstappen decides, you know what, there's Discord there. I know do it again. See you later. Or like it, or
And
Verstappen as a racer does tips.
that's a
Yeah,
possibility
basically, I
because
left fully in the bag.
that's a possibility. Elementary, we keep hearing stuff that a Saudi consortium wants to buy. We don't know whether it's going to be Alpine or Aston Martin from Lawrence Stroll. We keep getting all those rumors, and at this point, what we're hearing is that it's most likely going to be Aston Martin because of Adrian Newey, and they are willing to make Verstappen the highest paid driver on the grid. And to be honest, you are wondering if after all this, because Verstappen's contract is coming up, we all know that. If after all this, Verstappen decides that I have 4 titles already. Newey, my guy, has gone to Aston Martin. I'm going to be paid like a country is going to be paying my salary, like not just a random thing. A country is going to be paying. A Middle Eastern country is going to pay my salary. I want a new challenge. I don't think that's putting Red Bull in a good position at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's putting Red Bull in a good condition, but I would love to also play devil's advocate in the fact that we all know Max is a race junkie. Now, if the Middle East buys any of those teams, would they relatively do better than they are doing now? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And I understand the fact that and we need to understand that one of the reasons why the marriage between Max and Red Bull is working is because of what is actually happening. Is because they can tweak things to make him feel good. They can tweak things to suit him. Though Saudi can promise that, Saudis can give you a lot of room to play with. But at the same time, like the Obas will say, the devil you know now is better than the devil you've known for so long is better than the devil you know for so long is better than the angel you just met. So I feel like, one, Max is a race junkie. Two, Red Bull is a business entity that is not hinged on automobile sales. One very distinct thing that flew out at me today was when Max won, and he did like this, and I saw "makes you fly" or what is this Red Bull tag, and it hits me again. This is what Red Bull is doing. Red Bull is not like Mercedes. Red Bull is not like Ferrari, whose sale is hinged, whose success of the track like is hinged on the car. Theirs is hinged on the driver's success and how they can say their product, their brand is responsible for that success. And it kind of aligns with the old Max vision of I am a junkie. Because only those that don't know Max would not know that he's a junkie. He's a race junkie. Baba is off season, his mates are on vacation, they are playing FIFA, they are doing other things. He's on simulators, playing race games again. So I feel like some of these things also factor into all of this decision. And it's the reason why Red Bull can always do what they do and get away with it. There has been clashes off the grid. His father had issues with the Red Bull team. One way or the other, we are talking about his contract next year again. So I want to believe that Red Bull will always find a way to please Max. And we all know that as long as an athlete is happy, business goes on.
before we move on from Formula One, the biggest example of Verstappen being a junkie was, I don't know if you guys saw the whole Lego stuff they did in Miami. Instead of the usual pre-race drama where they are in the interviews at the back of the truck, they did the whole Lego thing. The drivers went for a few, they went a particular distance, the racing was fun, the Legos went in. And when they were interviewing Max that, oh, how was it? It was like, yeah, it's good, blah, 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 but there's debris on the track. And they asked for another game, blah, 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 say, they need to sweep the track now. I'm like, bro, relax. They'll sweep the track and they'll be fine.
To make matters worse, when everybody was racing with the Lego, they were going off track. Baba was driving it like he was driving a normal Formula One car. He was following every X line. I'm like, oh God, this is just Lego now. We're just supposed to be laughing. Max is not ready to laugh. Max just wants to drive.
So it's kind of crazy. Away from Akin, we've not seen 1 minute. You look like you guys, like Kunle said, you guys are going to win the league and win everything, win the treble. The next minute, your coach is saying that the world hates you people.
Believe Kunle at your own risk. Let me put it out there.
Welcome to the world. But when if you want to summarize your season as a whole now, is it a case of we did well, or like Eleme just said on WhatsApp the other day, Netflix team?
I mean, I'll take the later. Or this is latter, or how they say it.
Netflix.
I mean, yeah, because so there's I mean, I think who was the player that actually came up with that thing and it trended for almost months. I think it was Patrick Evra. And for some weird reason, my question at that point in time was like, why do you guys always have to attack us now? Even while your team is not doing well, you have nothing to say about Manchester United and everything. But I guess, I mean, like I say, at some point in time, we just have to chest it and say, yeah, okay, don't worry. The only time that people won't be able to talk about is if they deliver, and that has been the problem of I won't just apportion all this old drama to just Arteta alone. I think everybody's an accomplice in this, to be honest, and they really need to know what the way forward is, because I can tell that the time is coming where the fans will start turning against the coach and even the owners. I just feel like it's a matter of time, because that timeline is no longer long. It's so short, and it can happen anytime soon. So from what everybody is saying is that they're expecting that next season, you start getting worried in case he doesn't win any trophy again. But I mean, with the whole thing that have been put in place, I'm not quite sure yet until I start seeing what the signings are like in the summer.
Actually, let me interrupt you. Do you agree with those theories that say he should be sacked if you guys don't win anything next season? Because I don't. Yes. I don't know what you think.
Why don't you? I think that should be a very good question to ask. Why don't you think so that they should sack him?
Look, if you can see the screen properly, just look up. There's a guy above you. His name is Bright Elemeji. The team that he supports, the kind of beating that they have been collecting, and sometimes if you look at where you are coming,
it says he's an international Inter Milan fan now.
Okay, no problem. Let's focus on what's going on here. What I'm saying now, in essence, is if you look at where you guys are coming from, because when last season, at the start of last season, 2023-2024 season, when you returned to the Champions League, it was the first time you were in the Champions League since the 2016-2017 season. That's 7 years.
But when has that turned to be an achievement?
I'm coming. That was 7 years without Champions League football, nothing. Just
vibe,
play, finish it season anywhere you can finish it. Go to Europa League, come back home. Yes, he won the FA Cup, he won the Community Shield for you guys. Mm-hmm. If you decide that, you know what, we need a manager who can win. One, the league is competitive, very, very competitive.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's only going to get competitive as well.
Yes.
So we cannot. I mean, that in itself, I don't believe.
My second option is giving him all the tools that you feel like he needs to succeed.
Are you done with listing on your point? Because that particular point, I want to address it about saying if he has been given all the tools that he needs. I'm pretty sure to an extent, the ones that he asked for and he got, they've been performing below par. Let's also understand that. And it's one of the reasons why they had to bring the sporting director into play right now. Because you can't tell me that you spend that amount of money and the output that these players are actually delivering is not really up to par. Let's be honest with ourselves. And in recent times, recently right now, there's been already rift between the sporting director and the manager. Around the kind of number 9 they want to bring into the team. And our dear coach is asking for Sesko. Sporting director says, "Oh, Gyökeres is actually up for grab, and his output he has more output." But he said he's looking at the intangibles, and I'm like, we need somebody that can score goals, and you have it on the stats. The stats says this guy has scored more goals than this player. So why are you having this? So it just goes to show that when everything was left to him, I'm not pretty sure. With Edu is an accomplice as well. Every player that they bought, I don't think you have about 50% of them that have actually hit the ground running from the start. So I think they need to get because he had a say. I don't believe that a coach should have that much say when it comes to players. All you have to just discuss with the sporting director is, "Oh, this is what I want to play, and I need players that can actually deliver on it." You shouldn't come and say, "Oh." Let's be honest, the only thing I hate about Arteta so far is just the recruitment. Oton, that's just it. They've gotten it wrong for so long. And they needed a sporting director that has a mind of his own, that can say, "No, we're not going for this. This is a much better alternative." And if there's a rift already going on as the kind of player they want to get, I love it. It shows that, okay, at least at the end of the day, you guys disagree to agree on the kind of players that you want. I want someone that can actually talk back to him and tell him that, "No, you can't have it this way." Just trust that this guy knows what he's doing. This is what he has been doing for years. Allow him work and see. So it's the recruitment for me.
About Andre Betta's record in Atleti is good, but it's not flawless. There are players
I don't need flawless. I need players that can die on the pitch, and that's what you have in the players in the Atletico Madrid that can die on the pitch. And the grander results. Enough of all these. We are playing fine, bro. No, I don't want it anymore.
You don't want total football anymore. You just want to win.
We want ruthless players that can deliver. I beg. Really, to be honest, I'm done with you. I want something different. To be honest.
Sports now.
Okay.
Next season starts, you sign, whether it's Sesko. Okay, I don't think Isak is possible. Whether it's Sesko, whether it's Gyökeres, one of them comes. You start playing the season. Everyone is expecting Man City to buy. If Element is available, but if he has not retired, City can buy him tomorrow morning. Do you understand? Everybody is going to buy anybody that can find. So Liverpool didn't spend money last summer, hoping to spend it this summer. It's going to work up. So let's now get to the point whereby let's say you finish second again, as you normally do. Do you understand? Let's say you finish second.
Wow.
Is that enough for you to go another second? What one? Arteta out, bring in another manager.
So I want to play the devil's advocate, right? So I'm always when I ask for, or when people say, "Oh, a manager," I'm always asking, like, what's the replacement? It's not one of those. See, it's different from when you recruit players, right? Because you have alternative. You could get like the next best thing or maybe second best thing, but in terms of manager, you have to get it right, and there aren't enough managers out there. That's what I'm always careful about. I can't actually, off the top of my head now, name someone if we sack Arteta. Oh, bring this person.
Eric Ten Hag.
Nah. Is the guy still on the? Is he still looking for a job?
Yes, man. What's for you guys?
Well, so I think for that reason, I can't really say, "Oh yeah, sack this," because you listed some point earlier on about just where we were prior to we getting back to like Champions League and things like that. Those are cogent points that even the owners are actually looking at as well. They are first business-minded people before, and they're not even fan of the sports. Let's be honest. So because of that, because they think like a businessman, because of the other things that they're looking at, that okay, he has actually brought back the club to like prominence and other stuffs, other intangibles like that, it's kind of hard for fans to really have a say until something is being, until the pockets of the owners are being affected. That's just it. So it's a long shot. Let's be honest. I'm being realistic here. So I can't really say, oh yeah, Arteta gone. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. If nothing is affected, if nothing
It
is
is
affected,
very
if nothing.
it is very hard to hate Arsenal whenever Akin is talking because of all the Arsenal fans I know, he's one of the few that are not delusional. So whenever Akin is talking, I'm like, why can't all Arsenal fans be like this? Why can't they? But I guess my banter will have to just stick to WhatsApp because a lot of the Arsenal fans I know are very deluded.
But it's hard, to be honest. I mean, it's hard. The only time Wenger left because Kroenke's pocket everybody stopped going. There were protests. So what are you saying? So unless something like that happens again, I don't think that guy is leaving anytime soon. It's not leaving anytime soon.
Kule, there's a final that's going to happen on Wednesday because, frankly, I don't. If there's a situation whereby both teams can lose, that's the best way to describe what should happen on Wednesday. Like, hey, can these two teams just lose so both of them can go home? Because whichever way you choose to look at it, both of them have decided we're going to put all our eggs in one basket. It's not a standard basket; it's a quite shaky basket, and you are 17th versus 16th in the Premier League. Both of them look quite hapless in the league. For those that don't know, it's the Europa League final and Eleven is already celebrating. The way I look at it is, one, for the team that loses on Wednesday, what's going to happen next? What's going to be the excuse? Because if Ange or Ruben Amorim loses, what will you say? We have planned this whole thing like, as if both of you can win, where both of us are going to play Champions League football, knowing fully well that your entire season comes down to just one game. That's one. To now make the whole drama itself crazy is that if I was a betting man and somebody comes to ask me that, who do you think will win? Aki might not like this answer, but I would say Spurs. And why would I say Spurs? Man United.
I like it. You don't get that. See, let me tell you the difference between my hatred for Man U and my hatred for Spurs. See, my hatred for Spurs is regular. It doesn't go beyond not London derby. But you see that Man U is grounded in all the things they've done in the past years against us. The Ferguson, everybody will collect. That is the reason why I wanted to lose. Why will this see? It's not London first before anything. Not London first.
The way I see it now is because even when you watch their games, even when they are playing well, they have Højlund or Nana, and one of them is guaranteed, or even both of them combined, is guaranteed to ruin the game because you watch Højlund play on Friday and you're like, for the love of God, if you find a striker from an academy, he can at least. I understand goal droughts and not scoring goals, but at least he can hold the ball and just control it and give someone else. But Yusuf take no play. So now the Europa League final has so much importance that Ange is probably writing his resignation letter somewhere that resignation letter, transfer targets. We win Champions League football, transfer targets. We lose Daniel Levy, before you sack me, I'm out. I think for Amorim is a bit different because I don't know if you would say it's unfair to sack him, but ultimately in the league, Man United have shown that they can't beat English teams. The only teams they've beaten this year is Ipswich and Southampton.
You said whichever manager loses, they might have to go. Look, if I'm being completely honest, the idea to happen that no matter the results on Wednesday, Thursday morning, both managers have resigned. That should actually be the standard at this point, because at the point in the perspective of Spurs, what's the point of what is this about? You are 17th. You are literally 17th. The only reason you are not 18th is because Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton are probably three of the worst promoted teams ever in the league. If you look at Man United have beaten only 7 teams this season. 3 of those 7 include the 3 teams in the bottom, 3 of the table. 2 of those came in November. So basically, if you take out the first 3 months of Amorim's tenure and take out the bottom three, they basically won 4 league games. And I know I've been saying this for a while. It feels like Amorim will be the first post-Fergie United manager to actually resign. Because no matter what happens on Wednesday, whether or not it's okay, they are fated to win the Europa League, and that's why their league form has been tanking. It's not going to fix. It's not going to fix a single structural issue with Man United. Like not one, not the nonsense cuts that Jim Ratcliffe is doing, the miscommunication in the board, then the way the entire team is being treated. It's not going to fix anything. And the fear is that Amorim will realize that by like October next year, or like 3 months in the next season, it's like, okay, nothing has changed here. We're in the Champions League, we won. There's no point. I will just bounce because I have a reputation to protect. Or, for the perspective of Spurs, it's kind of the same thing. Like the same, like this Europa League is not going to fix the fact that Levy does not know how to build the squad. That Levy is too power focused. Does not want to do anything with that team. So, like even I won't be surprised if Spurs win on Wednesday and by Thursday, Angie announces that, okay, yes, I've won something. Goodbye. I've done what I can with this team. Posterity has evidence that I've tried. I cannot do more than this. It's as simple as that. And we are barreling towards a point for these two teams, especially Man United, where the teams will become uncoachable. Where every manager will be like, if I go here 18 months, I won't do anything. It's going to be courses. Sky Sports Pundits will eat my head alive. The ex-United Fergie boys will destroy me on Sky and everything. And nothing will change. The only thing that will change is that my reputation will go down. At this point, you have to start connecting those dots together. And as basically my headline is, I genuinely think this is going to be the worst Europa League final ever. Not in terms of performance, I just think in terms of the quality of these two teams. Honestly, I think before that match starts, like the UEFA studio should just put, okay, we apologize to everybody involved in the Europa League this season, especially what Lyon and Frankfurt did in the quarterfinal, because to an extent the blame lies on them. There's no reason on earth where both of these teams should be in the Europa League final. Because I watched United against Chelsea on Friday, and I was like, they have to be saving all their quality performances for Wednesday. That's the only thing. That's the only way I can explain what I'm watching. Because there was never a point, not once, where it looked like they would find a solution, like in terms of goal scoring or anything. I know you mentioned Onana and Højlund. Those are probably the two proper standard cases, because every time I watch Højlund, it feels like Højlund plays as if that just shooting is part of his KPI. No matter what, just shoot. It does not matter what happens, but just shoot it. Just shoot it. Even though it's low, just shoot. Kick it. It's fine. It feels like these United players don't have anything to do. Like nothing serious about them. And frankly, and I don't know how they keep doing this Jekyll and Hyde stuff in the Europa League, both United and Spurs. But one thing is guaranteed, we will be seated for that final. And no matter what happens, in my own opinion, both teams still need to change managers, change the entire structure of their team for next season. It doesn't, like, whatever happens on Wednesday, it's not going to be like a magic silver bullet that changes everything. No.
LMJ, somebody must win on Wednesday.
Yeah, I feel somebody must win on Wednesday, but the fact remains that it would sound like I'm a broken record, but both teams need to change their structure generally. Now, let me start with the easier one, Spurs. Sometimes in the beginning of last season, Spurs were looking like the best team in the league. Like, they were playing expressive football. They were hitting people on the fast breaks. They were conceding a lot of goals, but at the same time, they were scoring a lot. And it looked like they had a direction they wanted, like they were heading towards. But all of a sudden, we saw how everything just went into the trash can this season. It goes to show that there is a problem somewhere, which can be attributed to the structure of the team. From Danny Levy down to whatever, the board, whatever, that about that. Same thing with Manchester United. Kule was talking about the fact that managers will start avoiding. I think it has started happening already. With all due respect to Amorim, he did a very fine job in Sporting, but in times past, or hypothetically, before Fergie left, the kind of names that were attributed to the job were the kind of names that would instigate fear into the opposition and stuff like that. But the downgrade started with going for Moyes. For whatever reason Fergie saw, he chose Moyes as his apparent heir to a team that was dying, a team that needed rejuvenation at that point in time. Because I remember vividly, we were playing with Welbeck and Chicharito. All due respect to both strikers, Fletcher was the most senior central midfielder we had then. It goes to show, and Fletcher was in his 30s at that point in time. So we could see that there was a decline somewhere, and those issues were not fixed. So it's very obvious. And one thing that this Europa League has shown us is how faulty tournament football can be. Like, you can be crap and just on in for 120 minutes, for 90 minutes, and you'll be in the final. Tournament football, Crystal Palace won the FA. Tournament football, Newcastle won the Carabao Cup.
I don't even think United's own is even holding for 120 minutes. I feel like they just took their moment. Okay, when it's this next 10 minutes, let's just flop it to Maguire's head. We are fine. Like, okay. Or maybe somebody will get sent off. Like, because it is completely baffling how they got any amount of success in this competition. Even Spurs, because in an ideally, United should have been out since so said that they shouldn't have gotten to Lyon. Spurs should have not got to the semi-final. So it just feels very baffling. And honestly, the only thing that we can see on Wednesday is that somebody has to win. Like, mathematically, both teams cannot pass the ball and set attack and just leave it for 1 second. Somebody has to win. That's the only thing that I say about this.
You see, sorry. So I think I say that to say that I totally agree with Arsene Wenger that I think we should start rethinking the fact that people that win side European tournaments should be granted automatic qualification to the Champions League. Because in all fairness, if United win this Europa League, like, we are just going to get disgrace in the Champions League. The same goes for us. So, like, what exactly is the point? Who has won the Champions League?
Exactly. That's what I want to. Let me be the one to disgrace you. If we 8-0.
I don't agree with Arsene anyway. The rules are there. The fact that two poor teams are in the final shouldn't dispute what we saw what Oliver Glasner did with Frankfurt when they got to the finals of the Europa League and the pre-Champions League football. It's rewarding for teams that it gave the Europa League more relevance, because there were instances whereby teams before would rather not even qualify for the Europa League at all, giving themselves an opportunity to be more competitive in their local leagues and stuff. And before I even move on from this topic, I think I agree with you guys in the sense that a lot needs to change for both teams, because we're in Champions League now. Let's go and sign Maradona, or let's sign Gyökeres, or let's sign Šeško. It's not going to help any of those teams, because both of them, frankly, can't beat good teams. It's that simple. When you watch them play, just they can't beat good teams. All you need to do is just be good and be decent for a while. You have won the game against either of them. It just make Wednesday, like Kunle said, apologies for those that will be watching it ahead. If it's an interesting game, fine. If it's not, life continues. I think our time is fast spent. Before we call it a night, the NBA playoffs are ongoing. We have a game tonight, Game 7 between Denver Nuggets and
baby.
Obviously, Aaron Gordon is out for Denver, but if you had to stick your neck out for any team to win this Game 7 and make it to the Western Conference Finals, who would it be?
OKC.
That's direct. I know that.
It's so direct, because I don't know. There's been a conspiracy going on right now that the NBA really wants what's it called, a Minnesota Timberwolves versus
New York Knicks
final, because of the numbers, possible numbers, potential numbers. Actually, it's going to breathe, and they need the OKC versus Minnesota to confirm that. to just confirm that. It's been a conspiracy theory, but it will be interesting, to be honest. And I think it's going to even garner more, fan, base to pull up to the courts and just watch the game. Even the views are going to go up as well. So, and again, OKC are playing good, great basketball, not to get to the Western Conference, to be honest. They're playing fine basketball. They, as against Nuggets, whereby it's just one person in the name of like Jokic. We know what he's capable of doing. It's not new. It's nothing new right now. But we're looking at an OKC team that can actually change the dynamics of what I think they deserve it. They play great basketball to end that sport. So yeah, I'm going for OKC, and I hope they prove me right.
If you play the greatest basketball ever, if Nikola Jokic says, you know what, today you will go. So the most important thing for you to do is to win. I agree with you. OKC play fast. They make it of their depth. Their rotation is nice, it's consistent, and whatever. It will be fun watching Minnesota and OKC play. But if the boogeyman says that tonight you go home, you not even go home, you stay home.
Honestly, if there's anything impressive about that guy, he has shown times and times without numbers, like he's able to carry the team, and that's what scares me. One person that believes, that's scary. It's really scary. So thinking about it, it's really scary.
Baba Yaga wore polo. He wore polo to today's game. So you should know that. We are in for game today. You are saying OKC play fine. Nothing concern fine game.
And do you know the funny thing? Like you can see the dynamics as well. Like even a Russell Westbrook is having to even calm down and say, "Well, come, I'm in a different team. Like whatever this man says, that's what I'm going to do." Like he has calmed down, which is like it's too contradictory to what the kind of player he is. Everybody around him are like, even coach, he's the coach. He's the coach because everything. I don't know, that guy can change anything.
The only thing that is against Denver today is that Aaron Gordon has been very good.
Yeah.
His 3-point shooting has been very good. Has been very up.
And they are just a 6-man team. That is what is paining me.
At best, like, 7-man rotation.
At best, 7-man. And now you're losing a very integral piece of the team.
You guys are right though, because on an average, an individual or a player there plays about, maybe if I'm correct, let's say 28 minutes. That's crazy.
OKC is the only team in these playoffs that has like a 10-man rotation.
Yeah.
They use that bench and they use that pace a lot. But to be honest, there's a reason why you should be scared of great players when it comes to Game 7. They will come to your house and tell you to stay at home. To our listeners out there, our viewers.
We're not going to talk about Brock Purdy's new contract.
Bolish is not here. Before I leave, I want my apology written in caps lock. I told these two boys that Brock Purdy was going to get paid 50 million. When we're doing the live stream of the
but it's not. I think our argument that day, it's not like he wasn't going to get. Our argument is he really worth it?
I can wait now. You're telling me that is it worth it? Let me finish my argument. I told you what, and I told you that for one reason and one reason only. If I am Brock Purdy's agent, by the time I go for the meeting with my shoulders held up high, I will go and print the highest earners, and I will tell you that Trevor Lawrence earns 55, Tua 55, Jared Goff 53. I will list everything there. All the people are above 50. Trevor Lawrence has not made the playoffs since that comeback that they had a few years back. Brock Purdy has gone to the Super Bowl. He has gone to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that, so that we can build a team around you. After I was the last pick, I could barely pay for my rent in San Francisco. 53 million. I want my money cash.
But that jump is crazy. Man. But yeah, I'm happy for him. And yeah, your apologies. Sorry.
You were even fortunate that you not win the Super Bowl. If you had won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, two Super Bowls ago, the contract would have been mad because I'll be telling them that Prescott hasn't won anything and it's 60 million. But anyway,
that number is crazy, man.
So we'll probably focus more on the NFL as the season approaches. But big shout out to Brock Purdy for earning his dollars. Whether you believe he deserves it or not, he has collected his money. He can now buy a house in San Francisco.
I also wanted to ask. What do you think about CC and injuries?
Yesterday,
the whole fiasco yesterday.
no, it was just a take-on foul. Now it was a regular foul. I don't think that was a flagrant or whatever.
It was even given as a flagrant. You understand? It was given as a
It was
flagrant.
given as a flagrant, but what was the force all about? Where was she?
I don't know.
As a WNBA fan, I'm here for the drama.
Yeah, the drama helps drives the views.
Yeah, I love the drama. Because everybody was talking about it. So
it took all over the media.
But one thing is for sure, the drama is forced. And what do I say that it's forced? Injuries is good, but she's not.
It's not Caitlin Clark at all. It's
and I believe that she can get better if she raises her level. Like I expect that if she raises her level to another level whereby there's just too much buckling.
Wale, there's just too much wrongs in her style of play. And I will list a couple out of many more. She still doesn't know how to rebound properly. Like she's rebounding her old rebounds. It has not changed. That's number one. Number two, you're forcing the three. Number two, you're forcing the three. Number three, you're playing as a point guard. Meanwhile, you're not a point guard.
The power forward, and they actually need.
You're not. And I don't know. Maybe it's the coach, because anytime they have Cardoso and her on this team, she's playing the point guard, and I'm like, it doesn't work.
It is an ego thing. It's an ego thing. It's not
an ego thing.
You're not supposed to be. Your handle is bad. When you dribble, the altitude of the ball is like almost in your face. So how would you not see the ball?
That's expected for her height. She's a power forward. Do you understand?
The reason why you shouldn't be playing a point guard. You shouldn't play as a point guard. Come on.
She needs to let the game come to her. Do you understand? Exactly. What I mean by letting the game come to her? Eja Wilson is a power forward / center.
Mm-hmm.
You won't see Eja Wilson telling Chelsea Gray, who is the point guard, that go to this corner. Don't worry. You create the play, put me in a position to be dominant. Angel Reese needs to let Courtney Vandersloot. They picked up Courtney Vandersloot's point guard. She's a champion during the offseason. Let Courtney Vandersloot run the play, be in the paint, do your thing. Mm-hmm. Let the numbers speak for itself. And if the numbers start to speak for itself, the rivalry becomes more exciting, because now the way I see it is that it's looking forced from one end. She's not as swashbuckling as Caitlin Clark, was exciting, whereby you are making threes from the logo and every other thing.
Do what you can dominate. Exactly.
Yeah, you can dominate in your own way. You can bounce double machine. You can dominate in your own way, and you'll be spoken about. So I'm here for the drama, please. Mom, I just wish they could play each other every week, but I'm here for it. I signed up for that drama.
I love the way they made it season opener, because kind of hit a fire in everybody. Like everybody's like, oh, come on, yes, we have one more of this.
Then LeBron's tweet now took everything to a different level. And somebody had to bring Angel Reese's old tweets of where she was dragging LeBron 4 years ago.
There was another time moment in the game whereby Caitlin Clark made the three, and then they showed Angel Reel's face immediately on the bench.
I saw that. He won't cry.
She was like,
and Katie Clark was just doing her thing. She shot it and she just started dropping back. Like
she was not, I think she was one thing Katie Clark that has changed about Katie Clark is like she feels like she doesn't have to do a lot because now they build a team around her.
Yes.
They properly addressed all the positions, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. And if they can maintain it this way, everybody stays injury free, they're going to make the playoff.
They made the playoffs last year.
But this one they will go far. But this time they will go far, definitely. But because the WNBA is not, I won't say it's competitive in its own way, but
going far for them would depend on the matchup. Because I saw the Phoenix Mercury with Satu and Alyssa Thompson. That's why the fact that they lost Diana Taurasi to retirement and what have you, and Brittany Griner has gone to Atlanta. It depends on your matchup because if you go and meet Liberty again, if you meet New Liberty in the first round,
What's the name of
Ghana,
this boy?
They meet
Sabina,
links.
yeah. No.
so
they say we drag me. No, they stiffy. I don't know.
Okay, now drag with links. Okay, now
I'm optimistic. Let's see.
if they are in the final with links, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, in the first round with links or with Liberty in the first round. Okay.
even see for them, this aim is that first round. Avoid ACs, avoid
ACs.
avoid New York. Do you understand? Then see who you can beat in the first round. Make I silently. Then you
Because I didn't shoot edge.
But WNBA will be interesting this season, right?
Obviously,
that's for sure.
as much as this season looks good, I'm even looking forward to next season when Gigi Watkins even comes into the league again.
That's another
thing. So that's another thing.
Yeah,
so please, I'm here for the drama. I want more beef from college.
I feel like the league is maturing enough such that we are now having good players scattered around the league, and this is what. So
it's exciting times in the coming seasons. Yeah, that's true.
So the only thing I feel for Ejoris at this point is let the numbers do the talking. Do you understand? Go inside the paint and dominate. Then we'll be waiting for the next matchup. All right, guys. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely week ahead.
Bye, guys.